Welcome, sadhakas. Today we are taking up Ganita Sutra 15 and Ganita Upsutras 10 and 13 as the text of these three hymns are availing only two-word formulations, namely Gunit and Samuccayah, and the texts as these are Gunit Samuccayah, Samuccayah Gunita, Gunit Samuccayah, Samuccayah Gunita, bring to pointed attention as the organization as it is certainly availing certain specific features of Sathapatya. As such, for to be parallel with Vedic knowledge as it stands composed and organized as speaking language, availing letters and syllables of Devnagri alphabet, one is to be parallel with Sathapatya features as knowledge formats. In this session, we are focusing upon the texts of Ganita Sutra 15 and Ganita Upsutras 10 and 13 as these three hymns are availing only two-word formulations, Gunata and Samuccayah. Let me be very specific as that when we are having urge to be parallel with Vedic knowledge, then we must keep in our mind as that Vedic knowledge stands composed and organized as speaking language. This speaking language composition scriptures are availing Devnagri alphabet. Devnagri alphabet letters and syllables in particular are being availed. The features of letters and syllables deserve to be imbibed fully, as it is only in terms of them we may be in a position to appreciate as to how a pair of words can organize to carry in the forms as Gunit, Samuccayah, Samuccayah, Gunita, and then Gunit Samuccayah, Samuccayah Gunita. This is certainly a feature which deserves to be appreciated. For it, let us take up first the formulation Gunit. The formulation Gunit is a composition of 6 letters which make 3 syllables. On the computer screen, the first tabulation is as triple syllables and their TT value, the transcendence through the vowels of this word formulation. The first syllable Gu is leading to TT value -9, while the second vowel leads to value 0 and the third vowel leads to value 12, making it resultant summation value 3. The letters of this formulation are 6 in number, and these, as per their placements, are making total transcendental code value 20. Let us have a pause here itself and make ourselves conscious as that syllables here are leading to value 3, while the letters are leading to value 20. These together as 23 is the TC value parallel with of formulation Shahishtra as well as of Anand, and 20 minus 3, 17 is the TC value of Atma. It is of the placement value of the northern hemisphere. See how in this composition of triple syllables and 6 letters, there are inherent sequential organization features which make this formulation full of potentialities. The second formulation will be taken up, but before that, let us be through the 10 folds of TCV value of formulation Gunit. On the computer screen is tabulation of these 10 TCV folds of formulation Gunit, and these sequentially are 1, 3, 6, 20, 3, 140, 66, 68, 116, 340. These values individually as well as in the sequential order of their manifestation have their distinguishing characteristics in terms of which we can have real appreciation of the organization of this word formulation. And the sequential summation values of these folds as 1, 4, 10, 30, 33, 173, 239, 307, 467, and 807 as well are preserving very blissful state of the Sathapatya. These 20 values, 10 as of individual folds and 10 as of sequential summation values, are making a very big reservoir. Therefore, sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of virtue to be parallel with the format, features, and values of formulation Gunit shall be through these sequential values as these are of the individual folds as well as these are of the sequential summation values. Likewise, we shall be through the different features and values of word formulation Samuccaya. The word formulation Samuccaya is a composition of quadruple syllables and 9 letters. The tabulation, the first tabulation on the computer screen is regarding the transcendence through the vowels of formulation Samuccaya, and these sequentially are 9, minus 27, 12, 3, and minus 3 as the total summation value. The 9 letters of this word formulation, as is the tabulation, will lead us to value 23. It will be very blissful to have a focus upon the organization of word Gunit as well as Samuccaya in the sequence as Gunit Samuccaya, and then in the sequence as Samuccaya Gunita, and thereafter Gunit Samuccaya and Samuccaya Gunit together. It is this chase which will bring us face to face with the inherent reach base of these formulations. For it, we have to be very, very specific in our chase in the sequential order of the 10 folds of formulation Gunit as well as of the 10 folds of formulation Samuccaya. On the computer screen is the 10 TCV folds of formulation Samuccaya, and these sequentially are 1, 4, 9, 23, -3, 203, 97, 74, 205, and 433. The sequential summation value comes to be 1, 5, 14, 37, 34, 237, 334, 408, 613, and 1046. These 20 values of formulation Samuccaya together with parallel 20 values set of formulation Gunit make a big collection of as many as a set of 40 values. These 40 values in their both orientations are the real subject of attention of the present session. For it, naturally, we have to be firstly parallel with the distinct letters being availed by this pair of word formulations, namely Gunit and Samuccaya. These are 11 in number. These letters are A, I, U, the first 3 vowels, and then Ka, Ga, Cha, Ana, Ta, Ma, and Ya, the consonants, followed by Visarjaniya, the 5th Yama letter. These letters deserve to be chased for imbibing the Sathapatya features at the base of their manifestations. The first letter, A, as the first vowel, is of Sathapatya feature of one space dimensional frame, that is a single -1 space as axis constituting the dimensional frame of one space. Step ahead, the second letter E as 2 space dimensional frame is of Sathapatya base of a pair of Eurospace axes. Step ahead, 3 space as dimensional frame is a setup of triple linear axes. The first consonant Ka is of TC value 1 and hence of a linear order, which as Sathapatya feature comes to be 1 space as dimension fold. The letter Ga with TC value 3 as solid domain is of Sathapatya feature of 3 space as domain fold. The letter Cha as TC value 2 as first letter of the second row of the Varga consonants is spatial order, and the same is of Sathapatya feature as that 2 space as a dimension fold. The letter Ana with TC value 7 as 7 space base is of Sathapatya feature as that 7 space is playing the role of a base fold here. The letter Ta, the first letter of the 4th row of the Varga consonants, is the creative order, which gives rise to Sathapatya feature as that fourth space playing the role of a dimension fold. The letter Ma with TC value 9 as 9 space base is leading to Sathapatya feature of 9 space as base fold. The letter Ya of TC value 1 as linear cover is leading to Sathapatya feature as that one space is the outermost cover, the outermost boundary layer. The letters Sa with usually 3 being the second Ushmana letter, the same is of solid order transcendence, which means that solid order of the origin fold gets superimposed upon the spatial order of the domain fold. Finally, Visarjaniya with TCVL 13 is the Sathapatya flow. This Sathapatya flow is along the creative boundary of 10 components of the transcendental domain. The 10 creative boundary components of transcendental domain get 50, 10 into 5, 50 coordinates fixation. It will be blissful to take note that hypercube 13 as 11, 12, 13, 14 quadruple values for 4 folds make summation value 50. One shall sit comfortably and be parallel with these Sathapatya features of the distinctive letters availed for composition of the pair of word formulations, namely Gunita and Samuccayah. Once one will be parallel with these organization format features of the text of formulations, Gunita and Samuccayah as per their letters and syllables. It will be a very blissful exercise to reach at and to comprehend and imbibe these Sathapatya features. See the letter Ga as 3-space domain is a 3-space content lump, means hypercube 3 stripped off of its all frames. The syllable Gu will lead us to 3-space domain together with a 3-dimensional frame. It will be very blissful to be parallel with this Sathapatya feature of individual letters Ga and U and together as a syllable. Therefore, it will be very, very blissful to be parallel with these formulations of Ganita Sutra's text, as these are ultimately taking us from the speaking language formats, frequencies, values to the numbers, alphabet, and then to the Sathapatya. And Sathapatya as well is going to be as per the components of a Sathapatya miring rod and different roles for different space contents manifesting as domain folds, boundary folds, dimension folds, as well as origin folds and base folds. Once we will be in a position to have specific fixation of these roles of these space contents, then we will be face to face with the manifested dimensional bodies. And once we are having glimpse of the manifestation of the space contents as dimensional bodies, then certainly the mathematical chase of the existence phenomenon will become very smooth. The second syllable, ani, as a pair of letters ana and e, as per the Sathapatya, or 7 streams flow through the Bindu Sarovar, taking us from first component Bindu Sarovar to the second component Ardhamatra. In continuity, step ahead, the third syllable ta, as 4 space as dimension fold, when we'll be having a chase along a dimensional frame of 1 space, which consists of -1 space as dimension, then as is depiction with respect to the pair of faces of surface and a resultant pair of orientations of swastik as a creative dimensional frame of quadruple spatial dimensions. One shall sit comfortably and to permit the transcending mind to have comprehensive view of this Sathapatya features lively at the base of the manifestation of the formulation Gunita. Likewise, we have to be through the second word formulation Samuccayah. Now, one way to approach the formulations is syllables wise, and the second way is that instead of taking consonant first and vowel thereafter, in the reverse orientation, it will be that vowel shall be first and consonant shall follow it in the next placement. The chase of the formulation Gunita Samuccayah as such, as is the tabulation, will take us to Ga 3 space content lump, to be followed by the transcendental flow of the formulation Un, It, As, Uch, A, and A. The tabulation of the Sathapatya features of this sequential order as it is will be taking us firstly to the numbers alphabet, as is the tabulation in the second column, and it is thereafter that there will be transition from the numbers alphabet to Sathapatya alphabet. One shall sit comfortably and to permit the mind to be parallel with these sequential folds from letters alphabet to numbers alphabet to Sathapatya alphabet. It is in this background that we can revisit the sutra Gunita Samuccayah and upsutra Samuccayah Gunita. The formulation Gunita leads to simple rendering as that 3 space domain stands stripped off of its frames to reach at the 7th version of the Hypercube 3, a transition stage for 3-space domain to 4-space domain. The formulation Samuccaya leads to the simple rendering as that 4-space as origin at phase and stage of transition to 5-space as origin base of 4-space origin is enough. Sequentially, the reach from Gunita Samuccayah from Gunita to Samuccayah sequentially would mean firstly a transition from 3-space to its origin, namely to 4-space, and then a step ahead from 4-space to 5-space as origin of a 4-space. Now see in the reverse order. Samuccaya Gunita means 4-space as origin at phase and stage of transition to 5-space as origin. Base of 4-space origin means 5-space origin is of solid order. So here the reach will be up till the solid order. Step ahead, Gunit will take us a step ahead that the solid order will get stripped off its features, and then there will be a transition from solid order to creative order. One shall sit comfortably and to permit the mind to imbibe. And when the Gunita Samuccaya and Samuccaya Gunita are to be taken as a single composite hymn, namely Ganita Upsutra 13, then the reach will be that 3-space domain when is stripped off of its frames, then it would mean a reach at 4-space as origin of a 3-space, and then Samuccaya Gunita will take from 4-space as origin to 5-space and origin of a solid order. Now in the reverse orientation, the Samuccaya Gunita as 4-space origin of the solid order origin when is further having a strip off for its features, then it would be a creative order. So we had begun with 3-space and reached at 4-space as an origin, and ultimately we are reaching at 4-space as a creative order. So Gunit Samuccaya, Samuccaya Gunita as a resultant effect means that 4-space as origin of 3-space is the first phase and stage, and the transition for it is the 4-space as a creative order. So 4-space as origin to 4-space as dimension is the attainment of Gunita Samuccaya, Samuccaya Gunita. Sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity of virtue to be parallel with Vedic systems shall sit comfortably and pose to oneself as that the Vedic knowledge has reached us as a speaking language. From speaking language, we have to reach at the Sathapatya base of this knowledge. Ganita sutras and upsutras are base values in terms of which we can have a reach for the speaking language for its Sathapatya format. Thank you very much.